Well, aloha kakahiaka. Today is May 28th, 2021. And if it's not May 28th, 2021 at 8 o'clock, 8:55 a.m. Hawaii time, you're watching this in a pre-recorded version, and you can actually scroll through about 5 minutes because we're going to go into our little pre-game show right now. I got my friends with me here. I've got Heidi Dollinger, who's our expert on Maui. I got Dylan Nonaka, who's our Big Island guy, and we got Scott Startzman, who's got a real background, a live background there on the of Oahu. How's it going, everybody? Let's do our little rounds over here. Heidi, is it coffee today? What's the special action du jour today, Heidi?
Well, of course, I have my coffee. I usually drink Maui coffees, but I'm drinking a Kona coffee today, and it's a dark roast. It's really waking me up. So from Dillon's Island, the Big Island.
From Dylan's on, excellent. Yeah, I got my fresh brew here. Dylan, what's going on, buddy? What's the Aloha shirt update? What's the post in the back? What's going on?
Well, this is a Mana Ola golf shirt, so it's like not like the regular Aloha shirt material. It's they're upgrading the local designers are upgrading to the dry fit material now, so it's super comfortable, and it's usually what I wear every day anyway. So it's cool that you can get that with a Aloha print now. And I gotta be jealous. Right before, Kona was like the only place famous for coffee, but now like every island has their own coffee, and even the sub areas of the Big Island are now doing coffee, like Keao and Kau and stuff. So it's cool that coffee industry has grown. It's more like Hawaii and a Hawaii coffee industry now. So
the coffee competition, everyone's realizing the benefit of having some kind of a regional branded coffee, which is kind of really cool. Yeah,
and I gotta say, some of that other coffee is just as good, if not better. So we don't have a monopoly on good coffee here in Kona anymore.
Yeah, well, it's still the brand is still there, but yeah, everyone's it's breaking it up, and it's called competition. So that's the way the world works. Scott, what's going on? How's what's happening on your side of the island over there, buddy?
A lot. Got my cup of coffee here. I'm only on number 2 now. Things have slowed down a little bit for me and mellowed out from last week. 3 cups was a little over the edge for me. I was cracking out too much. A lot of good things. I actually just launched my new website, which is it's an amazing site. Does a lot of great things, even especially the little map searching function on it for people it's pretty awesome. I closed my building permit out for Kapahulu, so that was big news. I'm still waiting for HECO 2.5 months later just to do the electric swing for the second electrical meter. But yeah, a lot of good stuff going on right now.
Excellent. Hey, I don't know if you could post on the comments in here, but post the website URL, Scott, when you get it. If you can post in the comments section to everybody, and if not, just send me a message or something like that, and I'll turn around, I'll flip around and go ahead and do it for you. But yeah, well, congrats. So websites are always kind of it's like having a baby. It's painful and joyous, and once it's born, it starts crying, and you have to take care of it all the time. So welcome to the world of launching websites. Dylan, I want to tell you, on our little our Aloha shirt thing, right? I went to go look for a couple of Aloha shirts because I went to go do I needed some Aloha shirts, and I guess it's like the price of lumber. I mean, we're gonna need a new meme with Aloha shirts. They're like $120 now. You can't get one for less than 100. So I guess inflation is striking at Aloha shirts as well, which is a bummer.
No, totally. I remember when Ren Spooners and Sig Zanes were like $60, $50. They go on sale, and then
that was expensive.
To like 75. Yeah, and they sort of keep creeping up, and now easily three-figure Aloha shirts nowadays.
Yeah,
But for menswear, it's a good investment because they last forever, right? And we all have Aloha shirts that are 20 years old, right? So it's like, you spend that one time and you get 25 of them in your closet and you're good forever, So.
Absolutely.
Pretty much. As long as you don't gain any weight, you're okay.
You know what we should do? We should have like another episode. Oh, actually, it's momentous. We should have an episode maybe the next time around, if we could remember. Let's wear the oldest shirt that we have, because I've got one that goes way back, way back. Hey, our friends are joining us. Auntie Joyce, welcome back, Auntie Joyce. Happy Memorial Day. Yes, Memorial Day indeed. perfect place to be to start the weekend. Joyce, I am so glad you feel that way, because I was looking forward to this show totally, and I'm really glad that you are here. And Jim,
I wanted to give Auntie Joyce's husband, Uncle Chris, a shout out. His 70th birthday is in 2 days, so happy birthday to Uncle Chris.
70th birthday on Tuesday. Happy birthday,
and Joyce
man.
Always has him working hard in the yard and building stuff and replacing the deck, so she keeps him real busy and young. So
God bless him. Well, God bless him. Joyce, happy birthday to your husband, Uncle Chris. Great. Thanks, Jason. Thank you, Dylan, for pointing that out. That's great. Hey, it's 9:00. Let's get the official show started. Then we'll kind of we'll continue. Well, let's real quick. Here, these are the early starters. Jim Stevenson is back. He mentioned to me that he wasn't able to make it last show. Jim, you were missed, and welcome to be back. We're glad to have you. Judy, Auntie Judy. Is it Auntie Judy now? Because she's part of the Ohana now, man. Judy is a member of the Honor Ohana. She has also worked with Dylan and welcomed into the family, into the clan. Good to see you, Judy. Great to see you back. Charles, aloha to you, Charles. Welcome back, buddy. Good to see you here. And we've got Robert, aloha from Davis, California. Great to be here. Enjoy the long weekend. Yeah, I'm going to. That is the one cool thing about weekends in Hawaii. Long weekends in Hawaii rule. It's just like, oh my God, it's going to be a 3-day weekend. This is phenomenal, right? Right, Judy? Yeah, exactly. That's what I say. And looks like Auntie Joyce got a. Auntie Joyce, I hope you. It was 15. I thought, man, my eyesight's going bad. I thought it was $15,000, but $15 a Chris Wren Spooner. Hey, Joyce, hold on to that thing. It's like an investment, man. It's kind of like it's better than Bitcoin. All right, let's get this guy. Let's get this guy rolling over here. I want to welcome you all. I'm so excited to be with you and to have you folks here with us. Let's get into our news update. Got a bunch of things to kind of share with you over here. Well, first of all, hallelujah, the outdoor mask mandate has been lifted. Outdoor mask mandates. So half of the states now been vaccinated, and so the governor has dropped the mask mandate for the outdoors. Health Department chair, the director of Health Department says, hey, when we are outdoors, we will not need to wear a mask. When we're indoors, we will still need to wear a mask. And, I don't want to get into the controversy on masking or not masking, but I did want to, there was an interesting quote that I wanted to share, which I think typifies a lot of the local sentiment about masking. So Lindsay Rabbe, who is a local resident who is eating at a restaurant in Waikiki, says, I've had a mask on for over a year now. I don't care. If I can keep a mask on, I keep myself and my family and my ohana safe. That's what I want to do. And I think that's I picked that quote because I thought it was really a good quote that kind of really tells us a lot about the local culture as it goes to masking. And with that, we take our masking seriously. There was a confrontation in Lahaina, got physical. Yeah, there was apparently what happened was that there was a local resident, and he was inside a Panda Express in Lahaina, and a family of visitors come in, and probably a family of 4. 2 of the family members were not wearing masks. So the guy goes up there and says, hey, supposed to wear your mask. And I guess they kind of, push back on it, literally push back, and fists were flying and bloody noses were as a result. And, over wearing masks or not wearing masks internally. And there was a quote that I wanted to bring out because I think, again, I thought the quote really, really typifies not so much the masking issue, but the cultural issue in Hawaii. And this is really important. And so the guys, it was in the paper. The guy's name is Humberto Cardenas. He is the local resident. And he says, outsiders think they have all that privilege. They come to Hawaii expecting to get all that aloha, all that respect, but they come here without any aloha, any respect, and they get mad when they don't receive it, said Cardenas. And I think that is the whole thing right there. Local culture is really about respect. It's a beautiful thing. We respect each other in so many ways, and we express that respect in so many ways. And that was the issue that got Cardenas upset. The mask thing, yeah, but it was a lack of respect of local ways and local culture. And that's what 99% of, if you hear of any sort of altercations between local residents and visitors, that's the reason why. It's because the local residents, the islanders, are not seeing a respect on the part of visitors. So keep that in mind, because this whole channel, this whole Ohana is about living in Hawaii, moving to Hawaii, and really it's all about understanding and respecting the culture. That's a real big deal. So I really wanted to point that out. All right. Kauai looks like they're on their way. They're at the highest possible tier 4, meaning that they have the highest tier, meaning they have the least amount of restrictions. In fact, it was there's no more tier 4. There's no more tier 4. So what did Kauai do? They added 2 more tiers. So there's a tier 5 and a tier 6. But they are saying that they're well on their way. And they say if the state hits a vaccination rate of 70%, they're going to get rid of the tier system altogether. So the end is near. And then finally, Hapuna Beach, no ka'oi. No ka'oi is a Hawaiian term for is best. Typically, you hear it say as Maui no ka'oi. That's a very well-known saying, Maui is best. But Hapuna Beach, this time, no ka'oi. Dr. Beach. Dr. Beach is this guy that his name is Stephen Leatherman, but he calls himself Dr. Beach. And every year he does a review of the best beaches in the U.S. This year he picked Hapuna Beach. And we've talked about Hapuna Beach many times on the show. And he says, the quote that I pulled, which was fun, was, the sand looks super white there because of the black lava beside it. I think the contrast makes you think, oh my gosh, I've never seen sand so white in my life. And as someone who's been to Hapuna Beach a bunch of times, I can attest and agree with Dr. Beach. All right, that's the quick update for now. I wanted to kind of go around and let's get some any news, non-real estate news updates, things you want to share that you heard, that you caught. Heidi, were you in Lahaina when that altercation was going on? What's going on in Maui?
I was not at the Panda Express at that time, but I mean, that's not the only altercation that's taken place. I mean, I've heard of some other confrontations around Safeway, and it really is about respect. I mean, it's like going to someone's home and refusing to take off your shoes when you go inside. I mean, it's customary to take off your shoes when you go into somebody's home. So that's kind of how it's seen. Now, lifting the outdoor mask mandate, I mean, I don't want to call anybody out, but most people were not wearing masks outside anyway. It's important to wear a mask when you go inside or if you're around other people here on Maui still.
Yeah. Well said, Heidi. Dylan, give me some news on the Big Island that's worth sharing.
Well, the big news is that they've announced that the schools are going to be back 100% next year. So, amazingly, most kids are pretty happy about that. I think kids, as much as they normally don't like school or act like they don't like school, give them a year of not going to school and not seeing their friends, and I think that fixes their mindset. So, it's a good positive development, I think, going forward.
Your wife is a school teacher, so she's obviously involved with that. How's your wife kind of feeling about that?
Well, she's actually not going back, but that's a different
different story. Different story. All right.
But yeah, she's still. I mean, so it's good. Everybody's ready. I mean, the teachers are ready.
Awesome.
Everybody's ready. They got good protocols in place. I mean, there's lots of stuff that they've done to make it safe. And the kids have been back for a couple of months now. Either on a part-time basis or they started full-time a couple of weeks ago. So they've kind of test run it, and it seems like it's all working. And definitely my younger son's having a good time being back in school full time.
Excellent. Yeah, the social component, life studies will be made for years to come about what the multiple after effects of this shock has been. Scott, give me some news, buddy. What's going on?
Yeah, a couple of things. I see the Honolulu mayor here is talking about trying to redo our tier system and kind of try to move us along, because we're probably one of the state in general is probably one of the highest percentage of vaccinations around. So they're trying to move all our tier system to what we can do, what restaurants, what businesses can do based more on vaccination rates, along with some of the COVID rates. So I have a feeling we're going to start opening up the restaurants more, which is good, because I just tried to set dinner reservations like 3 nights ago for tonight. And I was trying to do it online because that's mostly how you're having to do it. And I had to go through 25 different restaurants. They were all booked up until I finally just said, the hell with it. And I got on the phone, called, and was able to squeeze in somewhere tonight. But even The rental car situation is causing issues on the Uber Lyft side as well. I dropped my car off to get fixed the other day. I tried to get an Uber from Walmart down in Keamoku area back to Diamond Head, which should be normally $10, $12. Uber had it at $35 for the trip, and I couldn't even get anybody to respond. So the rental car effect is now bleeding into the Uber Lyft side over here. So not only from the restaurant reservation standpoint, they're all booked, but now we're even having issues on transportation, modes of transportation going around here. It's nuts.
That's going to be an interesting one. I don't know about you, Scott, but you're closer to Waikiki than I am. But even where I'm further out, I'm noticing a lot more mopeds. I'm seeing everyone's kind of, there's always a shift now, right? So I can't rent a car, I'm going to rent a moped. And I'm also seeing those little 3-wheeled buggy looking goofy things running around as well. So I guess people are kind of trying to get transportation any way that they can get it, which is really fun. Hey, we got a couple of, we got a bunch of comments I want to kind of follow up on, because I love it when you all are interacting with us. Actually what I was going to say, Scott, was when one of my long-term plans is to, because you couldn't get the reservations at the restaurant. So one of my long-term plans is, I'm thinking, maybe I'll create a YouTube channel called Cooking from Costco, which is like all about, going to Costco, picking up food, and then coming home and making dinner just from Costco food. Maybe I might do that. We'll see. Anyway, let's kind of go down our line over here. We got Robert H. Yeah, he mentioned, I mentioned this before, Robert from Davis, California. Yes, I did. And Jim and Kath. Hey, aloha from Oregon. Welcome, welcome back, Jim and Kath P. I remember you folks from a previous show that you were here. Sherman Gladsome, aloha from Tennessee. Awesome. It's great to have you here. Sherman, welcome to the show. Joanne Valentine, happy and Memorial Day from Colorado Springs. Welcome, Joan. Well, we're great to have you here. Jim, as a mainlander, I can tell you there are many damn holidays out there. Yeah, well, yeah, that's where on the mainland, I hope so. But yeah, Mark Whitehill is a member of the Islander Ohana. Aloha, everyone. 5 days until boots on the ground in Waikiki. Awesome, Mark. And Scott, I believe Mark is working with you, right?
Yeah, we're going to catch up here once they arrive. We're going to catch up, meet.
Awesome. Mark has been part of our Ohana and our cohort meetings. It's been great. Patrick, good morning from Palm Springs. I'm catching this week's show while midway between home and North Carolina. Future home in Hawaii, North Carolina and Hawaii. Excellent. Spend Memorial Day weekend hiking in Joshua Tree National Park. Have a safe holiday weekend. Thanks, Patrick, for the update. That's great. Get a little slice of Patrick's life. That's awesome. Slipping. That's right. Not boots. We don't do boots there. We do slippers on the ground. Exactly, Mark. He's getting it. You're getting it. You're getting it. Melinda, heard that we can keep masks off outside. Oh, yep, that is correct. And let's see, Melinda's agreeing with Dylan about the kids missing going to school. Yeah, indeed. Tom Kerr, aloha, good to see everyone again. Yeah, welcome back, Tom. Great to see you. Couldn't agree more with the respect, comments, and ignorance of tourists. And I'm a holiday. See, we embrace who we are, and it's okay. It's not a racist thing. We know who we are. It's all about the respect. It's got nothing to do with skin color. Joyce, always best to call restaurants directly for reservations. Most of the websites are only given a set number of available times. Yeah, that's a really good point, Joyce. When in doubt, do it. And Jessica, when's the date? Jessica is also a member of the Islander Ohana. Jessica and Wes, aloha from Texas, but not for long. When's the date, Jess? Listen,
we're right behind them. They're coming in about 2 weeks.
All right. Obviously, then they're working with Scott, obviously, which is awesome. Jess, give us 2 weeks. Excellent. That's going to be great. We're actually going to have an Islander Ohana get together for Islander Ohana members, which I'm really looking forward to on Oahu. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then, we got you. We got you, Jim. Let's see. And Vern, how's it from San Diego? Transplanted Kauaian, Kauai Islander, new to, and mahalos for the great info. Great, Vern. Great to see Jim. There you go. That's what you wanted to say, Jim. All good. All right. Excellent. Great, everybody. I'm glad you're all here. This is always a fun show, and it's actually getting more and more fun. And by the way, we should mention something that's kind of cool, right? We should a moment of celebration here, a moment of celebration, a moment of recognition, right? This is our 1 year anniversary. The show started about a year ago, a little bit more than a year ago. We've been doing it for over a year. And, we should take a moment just to reflect on this real quick. This started out as a conference call between me, Scott, and Dylan, and we're just kind of talking about stuff. And then Dylan had this is like another one of your great ideas. And Dylan had this idea. He goes, why don't we just kind of record this and put it onto a show? I was like, yeah, why don't we start doing that? And then it took on a life of its own. So Dylan, as the guy that started this, that sort of started this thing off, what's your reflection? It's been a year. How do you feel about it, and what do you think, and what do you think about where it's going, and all that kind of stuff? Anything?
Well, the coolest thing, I mean, not just about, definitely about real estate also, is that just the relationships that you make, the people that you meet. And that's been the cool part about this, is that there's been a whole new segment of folks that we've been able to build relationships with and get to know, or get to know us. And then so when the time comes, it's a lot more comfortable and easy transition to work with somebody. So yeah, it's been super cool. I mean, that's definitely wasn't the intent initially. It was more just to put out good information, and we all had time on our hands because there was nothing going on, right? That was a big difference back then a year ago, was everything was locked down. And we thought, hey, maybe we should just put some content out there, let people know what's going on, and try and keep in touch with folks. And yeah, it's really snowballed into a lot more. So that's been cool.
It's really been a lot of fun. Scott, how do you reflect on our 1 year's worth of doing the show every other week?
Yeah, it was funny. When I look back at that first one, I was in a custom tailored shirt, and here I am in Aloha shirts now. And it was, like we said, it was just trying to put some information out there. We used to have a threesome talking, every other Friday or whatever, just between the three of us. And we had some really neat stories and information. We're like, it's cool to get it out there, but like Dylan said, it's the connections with the people. And one of the things that I also realized is it's kept me that much sharper. It's made me that much, more of a better realtor for people, being able to I keep my fingers on the pulse of a lot of things, and this just grew that even more because there's other questions coming in that I hadn't considered or thought about. So it's that connection between everyone and those questions and going back and forth has really been amazing.
It's really been a fun dynamic, and so what was going on, folks, is as we're doing this, right, it would start out as me, Dylan, and Scott. I'm like, guys, we need some balance here. We need some balance. We need to bring a woman in with us, because it's just three guys talking, too much testosterone. We need some balance. And then in comes Heidi. Couldn't be more perfect. Heidi from Maui. Heidi's been with us almost since the beginning. Heidi, can you recall when you started? Because we're gonna have a special anniversary for your 1 year. When did you start? Do you remember, Heidi?
I think it was in August last year.
So let's say August. So that's a long time, Heidi. Heidi, you want to reflect on anything that the show has kind of made you think about that you didn't kind of think about earlier, or aha moments, or anything else that you want to reflect on about the show?
Well, I love the show. I love all the questions from people. I mean, any decision to buy real estate is a journey, and that's unique for each person. And I love all the questions. And I also love how this show provides a perspective of what's going on the different islands on Oahu, Big Island, and Maui, because there's not many places I feel you can get that. And it's great for me too. I mean, I love interacting with Scott and Dylan and hearing what's going on, especially in 2020, which was such an uncertain year. Anyway, it's been really fun. So hope to continue.
Jim agrees. Heidi is the perfect choice for your show. Exactly, right? Exactly, Jim. That's kind of what I can. Thank God. Thank you, Heidi, for providing balance to all the extreme testosterone. And we're not that extreme testosterone, but you know how it is. You gotta have some balance. And Robert, congrats. I have enjoyed the year. You kept me dreaming during lockdown. Excellent, Robert. I'm so happy that this was a part of it. Melinda agrees. And Joyce. Well, Joyce, you're virtually surrounded by us, and we're really glad that you are a part of all this. All right, excellent. So congratulations to. Actually, the real congrats really is to you folks, really, because, look, right now we got 34 folks live, which is amazing. And, if it wasn't for you folks being here, many of you come week in and week out. Jim, of course, is the winner of that contest. Jim, maybe you should give a comment of your reflection, because you've been with for practically since the beginning here. I don't know when you started with this, Jim, but Jim, Jim Stevenson, he's the man. But I think that I was thinking about the show a couple of days ago, and I thought, I look forward to this because you folks are the ones that really steer it. The majority of the show now is your questions and your interactions. We got those slides, we got a bunch of stuff ready, so we always got topics to talk about. But it's really you folks that drive it, and I personally want to give you a thanks from the depths of my heart, because you folks have made this possible. You folks are the ones, because you're here, because you're interacting. You give us the motivation to keep coming back and doing this week in and week out, every other week, and it's been a year, and it's been great. So thank you all very much. Really appreciate it. We're gonna move on. Okay, Jim, there he is. Thoroughly enjoyed every episode of the show, and I have my dream of moving to Oahu very soon. Jim, I'm going to guess that you're doing voice recognition. I'm going to guess that's voice recognition kind of striking back. So Oahu, close. Oahu, it's close. But hey, it's technology, right? As a technologist, I can tell you it's not always perfect. All right, we are going to move on to the next slide. So we're going to talk about, we got our real estate market update. We do a quick update of kind of what's going on in the market. I know the market is insane, and I know that Scott, Dylan, and Heidi always have something really cool to kind of share. So why don't we kind of go in reverse order? Why don't we start, Scott, with you? Give us what's the update? What's going on with Oahu? Is there any inventory available? Can I even buy a house? What's happening, Scott?
No, that's kind of my topic for today. The median home price is $928,000 right now. We're up about 15% on price. But the crazy thing is, so I do deep dives into a lot of data and stuff. Pre-COVID, a year ago, we had 880 homes active for sale on the market. Right now, we're at 415 active homes for sale. The number of listings available is down 53%. And that's a 40-year low for inventory on the market right now. So the other crazy part of that, we have no inventory. And the other crazy side of that is number of sales are up 13%. So we have more sales transactions happening, but way less inventory. So things have gotten pretty nuts. So what does that translate out to? 1 in every 2 homes that are selling above the asking price. On the condo side, we're actually getting down into record low territories for inventory there as well. 1 in every 3 condos is now selling over the asking price. So the condo market is quickly evaporating as far as inventory. It's starting to quickly follow the home side market, which had taken off in the beginning. There's 1,200 and some active listings in condos right now. But Kailua, just to give you perspective, is as a bananas market, it's a nuts market. Anybody looking there? There were 77 listings available on the market this time last year. There's 22 now. Wow. And price is up about 15% over there. So you have this, just there's no inventory. That's you named it. You said it. There's no inventory right now.
That is crazy. Scott, real quick, I had seen some reports from some economists that there was a larger inventory of condos, at least, or something like that, of housing in the urban core, closer to kind of around downtown Honolulu area. Let's say from downtown, let's just say downtown Kihei area, maybe Ala Moana. Is there any truth? Is there any kind of truth to that, or is it island wide? It's dried up, or is it like pockets? Like, I know that North Shore is like red hot, East Honolulu's red hot. What about the urban core? Is there any inventory in the urban core, or not really?
Still the same thing. I mean, even Kahala, in Kahala, so urban core. No, if so, we're talking minimal amounts of differentiation between Kailua, which is 40,000 people roughly, versus the urban core, which is going to be busier. But no, I mean, even Kailua, I'm looking at it. I looked today and I'm going, there's 2 homes under 4 million in all of Kailua, all of Kahala right now, where normally there'd be like 15 to 20. So
wow,
no, all around there's not much inventory.
Crazy. Dylan, we should call this, instead of the real estate market, we should call it the banana update. So Dylan, what's the latest on Oahu? I mean, Oahu. What's the latest on the Big Island?
Inventory issues the same here. So like normally there's like between 900 and 1,300 homes on the market across the whole island. There's 373 right now. So it's same thing everywhere as we're seeing everywhere else. I mean, every single home that comes on that's reasonably priced sells almost immediately. And We're at an average of like 99% list to sale price right now because there's so many homes that are selling over ask price. There still are some that, maybe overpriced, or the luxury market still, there are some concessions in those markets. But yeah, it's totally nuts. Nothing's slowing down. And there's still people looking to buy. I mean, it's hard. Last week we made $2.2 million in offers over, 4 different properties and didn't get any of them. I mean, just, it's rough. Like you're making 5 or 6 offers before you can get one under contract, not even with the same person. And sometimes those individual clients are making multiple offers before they actually get under contract. So yeah, I don't see it slowing down anytime soon.
Well, Dylan, it may not be slowing down, but I've got a comment that I want to share with you, which is very, very heartwarming. This is from Judy. Judy says, because of this show, I was able to travel to the Big Island by myself and meet Dylan and look at houses. After watching and listening every week, I knew I would be taken good care of. There is no way I would have done that without knowing, quote, Dylan through the show. Thanks for what you are all doing for people. Judy,
That's awesome.
Isn't that great? You got to love that, right?
No, Judy's great. And, I'm super stoked that she's going to be a homeowner here soon. And, we're going through a little bit of a complicated transaction where there's some stuff that, we're having to work through. Every transaction is that way. But, she's just been a pleasure to work with. And, it's the best part of this job is making folks' dreams come true and giving them a piece of paradise.
Isn't that the truth? And I think, and I'm sure with the complications, the thing about it, and this is why, we talked about saying a million different ways, but this is why you want to work with someone who's got experience, who knows what they're doing, because every transaction is different. Every transaction has its own complications. Some are minor, some are major. And that's why you want someone who knows what they're doing. And so, Judy, you are in good hands. And that's what's so kind of cool about it. Love the comments, everybody. Here's another one from Joan Valentine. I look forward to the show every other week. I feel so blessed to have found you about 2 months ago. I'm hoping to move there by the end of the year, God willing. Indeed, by the grace of God, Joan, I hope you will too. And I hope you'll also be a member of the Islander Ohana. We're going to take the Islander Ohana is going to have a break over the summer, but we're going to have our next cohort is going to be sometime in the fall. So keep posted and stay tuned, because we're going to be making some big notices about that. See, Auntie Joyce agrees. And Judy, you will be in great hands with Dylan. He and his entire team will always be there for you. Exactly. This is the Ohana, man. This is like exactly kind of what I wanted the show to turn into. Jan says, we consider ourselves very fortunate. We just purchased a townhome for below asking. We made a creative offer that was accepted. God bless. Great. Good on you, Jan. You are way out ahead as it is. Okay, we're still on the real estate market. Heidi, give us the Maui bananas update. It's no longer real estate. Give us the Maui bananas update. What's going on in Maui, Heidi?
Well, same over on Maui. It's a really competitive market for buyers right now. I just listed a couple of condominiums last week that normally meaning 2 years ago would have taken maybe 6 months or so to sell on average. We had multiple offers before anyone was even to get in and see the condo in person, before any showing. So, I mean, it is nuts. It's more important than ever in a market like this to work with a really good agent. It's really satisfying to me to know that I'm able to help some of my buyers and negotiate prices below list price. But I mean, you really have to know the market and know the inventory. Just kind of some other Maui news that's good news. In an effort to keep rent stable for people that have long-term rentals, Maui County now has a tax break for people that are using their properties as long-term rentals. So owners of long-term rental properties starting January 1st, 2022 can get a $200,000 tax exemption if they're using their property for long-term rental. So I think the idea behind that is as property values go up, taxes go up, and that in turn makes rents go up. So they're trying to create a situation that will stabilize things a little bit.
Oh, Heidi, please don't get us started on government policy. That's right, Dylan. Don't get us going. No, thank you, Heidi. That's good information to know. I find it ironic that we're going to increase taxes on one end, and because the taxes are too high, we're going to lower them on the other. But hey, you know, it is what it is, and we know what we're dealing with. So, but thanks, Heidi, for that update. You know, I'm actually, Heidi, now that you mention it, I'm curious. So I want to put a question out there to the Ohana that's watching right now. If we've been doing some kind of surveying, and we're trying to kind of figure out is like, you know, we're getting a lot of inquiries about on the Big Island. We're getting a lot of inquiries on Oahu, but we're not getting that many inquiries on Maui. And I don't know why, because Maui is amazing. Prices are everything's bananas everywhere. So I'm just curious if you're right now interested in Maui, kind of as the place that your primary place, throw a comment. I'm just kind of curious. I just kind of want to see what the comment is. If you're into Maui, just for the heck of it, I want to see what's out there. Scott sent me the link to his updated website, and the updated website is, I just posted that in the comments. It's hiestates.com. There's actually, I get a quick, small story, right, Scott? A little story I'm going to share. hiestates.com. I actually, my real job is a tech company. I'm an outsourced tech chief technology officer. And Scott was an early client of mine 20 years ago, Scott. We were working on your website at least 20 years ago, hiestates.com. And then, so Scott, it's good to see that URL is still there. And it's good to see that that of course it's many levels. You know, we did like web 98. I think it was like 1998. I think was the last time, right?
I think you and I our office was a table in the concourse at Kahala Mall where everyone was passing by, and you and I were just having conversations every week, 2 weeks for an hour or so.
It was great. It was great. Okay, so Jeremy. All right, Jeremy's looking at Maui. All right, so Jeremy is if I'm not mistaken, you are the guy, you're looking for a job in the industry to estimate what's the word that estimates the cost of the appraiser. Thank you. Jeremy is looking to be an appraiser on Maui. So thank you, Jeremy. Okay, so that's good. That's helpful. Anyway, so Scott, congratulations on the website. Let's see. I think we got all the comments in, I think, from everybody. Okay, so here's a good one. So Vern has sent us a good question. And Scott, this is like one thing that you've touched on a lot, but let's kind of see where this might go. So here's Vern's question. He says, do you guys foresee inventory increasing when the Fed moratorium is lifted soon? That's a really, really good question. I know there's some other stuff going on right now. There's some legislation in Hawaii that's kind of making its way. I don't know where it's at, Scott. Maybe you can kind of, if any of you have some info on it, but they're doing something to kind of say that something to the effect of that landlords. I forgot what it is. Anyway, Anyway, let's just take the question. Do you foresee inventory increasing when the Fed so right now there's a moratorium on evictions and things of that nature. Right, it's been a moratorium. When it gets lifted, what's going to happen? So, Scott, why don't you kind of start us out with that, and then we'll see anybody else who wants to add into that. Go ahead, Scott.
So, not anytime soon. It would be the first answer, and the second part of that would be I think it's going to be insignificant. I mean, I mentioned this last show. I've talked with the banks. I've talked with the people that I know at the banks. We're essentially talking about people who are in trouble with their mortgage or in the forbearance program, and legitimately in the forbearance program, because there's plenty of people that got into that without being in trouble. The amount of people that would be in there are not that significant. And even there's so much regulation in place that the banks aren't going to immediately go and take somebody's home. They're going to try to work with someone. The government's going to, the regulations are going to force them to. The government's going to give the banks incentive to work with the people, so that even if inventory was to come out, it's going to get dragged out over probably years. So therefore, I think it's going to be insignificant, be an insignificant change to what's going on in the marketplace. If we're getting inventory, I don't think it's going to be coming from that as much as it's going to be coming from somewhere else, which would be lack of affordability, and people finally deciding to move.
Interesting. Thanks, Scott. Dylan, is there anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I was just pulling up some data. So the number of people who are in forbearance has already gone down by 50%, right? So the people who were having trouble have either caught up or gotten current with their with their current mortgage. So that number continues to fall. We've been seeing that over the last couple of months. And so there definitely will be some people at the end who, don't catch up. But the reality is, if you bought your house in the last 10 years, if you did, if aside from like 2006 to 05 to 07, almost guaranteed, unless you did some crazy refinancing, you have equity in your home. So there will be some increased inventory on the folks that don't necessarily catch up, but it's not going to be through a foreclosure process. Those folks will have equity in their homes, and even though they're behind, it'll most likely be a regular sale where they sell, pay off their mortgage, and then still walk away with some equity. So there won't be a flood of foreclosures like we saw after the last bubble, just because people have equity in their homes. And that was the difference back in the last bubble, was people were buying with zero down. And then when the market dipped, people were underwater, and it was a very different dynamic. So at this point, you've had a lot of appreciation. If you bought in the last 5 to 10 years, you definitely have a significant amount of equity in your home right now.
So that's going to be the interesting question now, as we've touched on this earlier, which is, it's not the bubble like the last one was. And the question is, what kind of a bubble is it? And I guess we're only going to find out after the bubble pops. Heidi, is there anything you'd like to add to this about the inventory, the moratoriums, anything that you're catching? You mentioned that law about rentals, et cetera. Is there anything that you want to add to this?
I don't see a big flood of inventory to the market, but more inventory would be great. We need more inventory right now to return to a more balanced market, so that could be positive. I see eventually more listings coming to the market, more because owners want to take advantage of the appreciation and sell because it's a good time for them, not necessarily because they're forced to. Unfortunately, I think it is going to be a difficult time for renters if their leases are not renewed and they're looking for new rentals. The rental market's always pretty tight on Maui, and it's really very limited right now.
And with the higher price real estate, that's going to go up significantly. So here's what's interesting to me is going to be I guess the question that comes to my mind is, with the prices going so high, you would think that would bring more inventory on the market, like you said, Heidi, right? So there'd be more people who'd want to sell their home. And so why aren't they selling it? Either they can't, or they're waiting, or they don't want to. I don't know what's gonna crack it loose. Scott, do you have any idea of kind of what's gonna crack this thing loose?
Not crack it loose. I think it's a combination of all those things you were saying. I think there's a real element that I know people staying in their house right now, and I think this is due to COVID. We all got stuck in place, or we stayed in place, and there's this kind of resistance to moving now. There's also the other element of, where the heck do I go? If I sell here and this is my primary residence and I need to buy another place, great on the sell side. Now I got to enter this crazy market. Can I get a home? And there's a little bit of a fear factor there from people who don't want to be left without a property to be able to buy.
Oh, that's a really, really good point, right? Because I'm trying to put myself in their shoes, and that's a really good. It's like, yeah, okay, we could sell the house now and get whatever, get more than we've ever gotten for it. But then what? All right, right? Can I go buy that other house? Maybe not. Maybe I won't find it, and God knows what's going to happen. How do I transition?
Selling that house.
Exactly.
You can get into escrow, but you're not getting into escrow on the buy with a contingent there. You've pretty much got to have a transition place to go to, or a rent back. There's got to be some creative stuff that you got to do to make.
You've got to jump out. You've got to jump out of the market basically, and hope you can kind of jump back into it and find something that you like. And that's too much of a risk, so I'm going to hold it, and that's that. So let's see here. So Jeremy's just got his Hawaii license. Well, congratulations, Jeremy. We're seeing it's kind of following Jeremy's life, living precariously through Jeremy. Tom Kerr, who's a very frequent audience member, can we also ask if anyone is looking to live on Kauai? I realize you don't have a Kauai agent. No, Tom, but we do. Not on the show, but Dylan's got a killer contact, right, Dylan? Killer contact on Kauai. But I'm wondering if I'm the only viewer moving to Kauai. Is there anyone else who's moving to Kauai? So Dylan, you've got a great contact, if I'm not mistaken, like auntie kind of thing, in contact in Kauai, right?
Yeah, we'll take good care of you. If you want to connect with somebody in Kauai that can give you some great advice and take care of you, definitely reach out and we can make that happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, folks, actually, that would be fun. What island are you considering? Let's open it all up here. We got a couple of folks that are saying Maui, like, oh, Jim and Kath P. We will be looking at buying in Maui over the next year or two. Jim and Kath, hope you're in contact with Heidi. And that's that. So let us know what islands you folks are looking at. That'd be kind of a fun little survey there. So we have a few folks who are looking at Maui. All right. We have a couple of questions that popped in. First of all, Auntie Joyce, and they're coming in quick. Auntie Joyce, agree with Scott. My BFF in Knoxville sold their home in one day and now have nowhere to go. Wanted to downsize, and no condos available. So it's not just Hawaii; it's Knoxville as well. Melinda's going to Maui. All right, Melinda, awesome. Patrick's on Kauai. So Patrick, when you're ready, buddy, you want to kind of pop on in over here. Looks like, they're all coming in. This is great. So Melinda, Big Island, maybe Kauai, and Jim says Oahu because the hospital situation is where the best and biggest hospitals are. Yes, that is true. That is where, just like any urban area, the best and the biggest hospitals are on Oahu. There's no question about that. Charles, my last week on the mainland before the move to Oahu. All right. And Jan is Keaho on the Big Island. Terrific. This is great. They're all coming in here. So Vern, back to Kauai, the island boy missed. Yeah, well, man, Kauai's my second favorite island, I have to say. And Oahu are possibly big on. Yes, Sungye, welcome back. Sungye, good to see you again. Terrific. All right, I think we got, here's a quick question. Which islands have the better job market? Well, I guess the question I would have to ask is according to what? According to what is the better job market? On quick offhand answer would be Oahu, just because of the volume. There's a lot of that's kind of where the businesses are. It's the largest population, and therefore you have the most variety of job market. But if anybody else wants to jump in and give I know the markets are kind of. There's been like the rest of the country, like many other states in the country, there's been a difficulty with jobs and getting people to come back to work. I believe there's a law that is either been passed or been signed or in the process of being signing, where the governor of Hawaii has said, hey, if you're going to be claiming unemployment, you have to show that you're searching for a job. You have to be actively looking for a job. And with the hopes that that's going to change that dynamic. Anyone want to add anything about this job market? Want to make some comments about the job market before we move on?
Yeah, it just really depends on your industry and what you want to do. I mean,
exactly.
There's definitely different niches in each island. But, if you're a professional service provider, like an attorney or an accountant or a nurse or, anything like that, I mean, there's definitely going to be opportunities on all the islands pretty equally.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah. Well said. Anyone else want to add anything about that?
Yeah, I mean, tourism is about 23, somewhere between 21, 23% of our
something like
economy makes up. So, something in that sense, if you're in the tourism industry, then it's going to kind of depend on the lifestyle you want. The outer islands would be a little more, relaxed, and Oahu here is going to be, your city life, and if that's the type of lifestyle you want. So, yeah, it kind of depends on what you want from a lifestyle and what kind of job you're in.
Lifestyle, question, job you're in, yeah, all kinds of factors. It's a complicated answer, but Sherman, if you want to kind of share some of the more of the details, we might be able to kind of give you a little bit more of a better answer than a generic one. And it looks like Justin Kim is moving to Oahu, hopefully walking distance to surf spot. Well, it depends where you go to. You want the North Shore surf spot? You want the South Shore surf spot? There's all kinds of surf spots, East Shores, etc. But can be done. Can be done. Walking distance a little bit rougher, but can be done for sure. We are surrounded by water after all. All right, let's move on over here. We've got a couple of questions that I wanted to take. So before we do, just wanted to kind of tell everybody, hey, look, if you got okay, we're going to switch this around a little bit. First of all, you're all here. We got 46 of you here. God bless you all. Thank you all for being here. Got any questions? You want to pop them onto the screen so we can kind of carry your questions first. If we don't have any, we're gonna move on and go through our normal program over here. Jim and Kath, past year has proved that working in an office is not required anymore. Yeah, indeed, this is what's changing, which is one reason why housing is going crazy. We can work from anywhere in the USA with high-speed internet. That is a huge change, and as a tech guy. I got to tell you that it's a big one that is changing the whole world. They're actually called Zoom towns. I don't know if you folks have heard this term. It's called Zoom towns now. There are Zoom towns popping up, that are kind of ideally suited, good internet, et cetera, and because many people now can be remote workers, permanent remote workers. These Zoom towns are popping up. It's going to be a really interesting landscape, and I'm looking forward to it. So, all right. Speaking of landscapes, it's 44 minutes after the hour. I want to make sure we have enough time to kind of talk about our diamonds and deals, because there's only a handful of property. There's only a handful of properties left. I think it'd be kind of fun to kind of go through these. And I really like this section because I love it, because I don't know what they're going to choose. This is where our Heidi and Dylan and Scott pick out some properties that they want to feature, either diamonds or deals or some combination of both. And it's always kind of fun to kind of see what they've got. So let's kind of start with this one. So this is on Halama Street in Kihei, Maui, 2-bedroom, 2-bath for the low price of $5.9 million. Heidi, fill us in on a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It's so amazing. What are we looking at, Heidi?
Well, it's all about location and real estate, right? This is a classic mid-century modern home. It was built in 1952, completely remodeled, right on the ocean on Halama Street. What's significant also is it has permits to expand the home and add another 2-car garage. So that adds value as well. And it looks just beautiful. It's just been on the market 3 days. So
I wonder how much, I wonder how long this is going to be going to stay on the market. So Heidi, what makes this, you said it's right on the ocean. What makes it, 5.9 is a big number, no matter, what we're looking at. What makes this so incredibly desirable about the location? I mean, it's hard to kind of see. It's in Kihei. What makes it so the pictures are stunning, but what in your mind makes this so valuable and sought after?
Well, whenever you're buying a home that's direct oceanfront on Maui, there's going to be a huge premium on it. I think the lowest price direct oceanfront homes on Maui that I'm aware of, it would be in the mid $2 million range. So it's just the nature of having that front row view, being right on the ocean.
Oceanfront, right? You're right. Your border is the ocean.
Yeah, Halama Street is in Kihei. Has lots of sunny weather. You're right on the ocean. It's one of those really desirable.
One of those places. Awesome. Thank you, Heidi. Great shot. All right. So what's up next here? Oh, we'll talk about ocean. Okay. So Scott's got a 2-bedroom, 2.5-bath Kailua home listed for $1.985. Scott, I love the great view of Kailua Beach, of course. What are we looking at?
Yeah, that's why I picked this one. This one's called in Beachside. It's one of the few homes that's actually listed on the market in Beachside. So Beachside is going to be North Kalaheo or Kalaheo Avenue to the ocean. And usually there's private lanes and public lanes. You have either public access right-of-ways down those lanes, or you have private deeded beach access, that's what this is. This lot's a little smaller. Some of these homes, and I've mentioned it before, some of these lots, I should say, once you get on the ocean side there, the lots tend to get bigger. So the closer to the ocean, the bigger the lot, the more expensive the price tag exponentially. Once you get on the other side of Kalaheo Avenue, lots get smaller, you get further away from the ocean, and the price gets more affordable. This is going to be one of the lower prices in Beachside. The lot's actually smaller. It's just under 10,000 square feet. Most of them in that area are going to be 10,000 square feet plus. This is like a little beach cottage, 1,600 square feet, built in the 1950s, renovated some in 2015. It's still got the old, aluminum sliders. So it's more, to me, perfect little beach cottage. You walk down your private lane, kick it on the beach, maybe go for a swim, come back, and you don't worry about bringing some of the sand into the house there. But it's a cute little house, 1,600 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. And talk about, just as Heidi said, location. You're on the ocean side of Kalaheo Avenue, which means you're on the quiet side. You don't have to cross that busy street to get to the ocean. If you got little kids, send them down the private access right away. It's a safe little area. And it's towards the end of Kailua, which is my preferred area, which has some benefits. If you need to get into town and you want to go a certain direction on Oahu, you can jump on the H3 real easily, or you can go Likelike or Pali, cutting across into Honolulu. So it's a good location, one of my preferred locations in Beachside.
This I don't want to say this seems to be a deal, but I mean this is I think this is a well priced property. I mean, and now it's not beach front, but
Nope.
you said there's a kind of a private walkway to get the beach access, so you can kind of how far away from the water is this house?
8 to 10 lots roughly.
8
And
to
this
10
would
lots.
be the lowest price sale. Well, second lowest price sale in Beachside that would sell. There's one that sold. That was a 1 bedroom, 1 bath, teeny little shack that sold for a little bit less. So this is going to go for more, and it would be the lowest sale in Beachside in the last 6 months.
So you said there's 8 or 10 lots. So there's a bunch of lots you would kind of walk past. There's a walkway to the beach. You don't have to cross any streets. There's no streets or anything. Because you're on, as you said, you're on Kalaheo is the last main street in Kailua before the ocean as you go towards the ocean, towards east. So this is on the ocean side of Kalaheo, as we would say it. So there's no. Yeah, sounds good to me. I'm in. Sounds awesome. Okay, let's do this.
Compared to.
I know it is. Well, and everything's relative, right? Everything's relative.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, everything's relative. All right. So what's up next over here? We got Dylan, who's Scott. You're the low guy on the totem pole by a big margin today. So here's Dylan. Dylan, what do we got? A 3-bedroom, 4-bath on Alii Drive, 3.975. Stunning. My God, what is this?
Yeah, so we didn't coordinate. It looks like we all coordinated to pick oceanfront properties.
I was going to tell you, it's oceanfront is the theme. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
compete.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, this one's new to the market. Only been on the market a couple of days. Probably will go pretty quickly. But if you can see, this thing is like literally on the ocean. It's a rocky shoreline, so you don't have sand right out in front, but you do have Magic Sands Beach Park, which is just a short ways down the road, which is a nice sandy beach. And you also have Kahalu, which is a famous snorkeling spot and really good surf spot along the coastline there. So yeah, just a stunning property. I mean, you see that picture on the bottom right with the pool and like the ocean, like literally right there, like 10 feet away. So killer spot. And world famous Alii Drive, just beautiful, long drive right along the coastline. And not that many properties available, right? I mean, these don't come up very often because they're so sought after.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of interesting, right? As a result of the market being so tight, I suppose it's forcing you folks to kind of go more sort of up market, because that's really all you've got that's available to kind of show in the market. And yeah, this is
and the amazing thing is you can get I've showed these other properties, right? The $17 million, $10 million properties that are in these resort communities. They're not on the ocean. Some of them have views, but they're not like the best. You have a golf course in front of you or something like that. And so for $4 million, I mean, you don't have an HOA fee, you don't have all of the golf memberships and stuff, and I mean, you're like right there, and it's just stunning. So somewhat of a deal, right? I mean, you can pay 17 or 10 million or 12 million for something similar in a community, but to me, this is even more premium than that.
I mean, it never ceases to amaze me how next level Hawaii properties are, right? Like a beautiful Hawaii property, you could put that up against sort of anything in the world practically, and it's going to blow it away. I mean, I'm looking, for example, I just noticed I'm looking again at not only on that pool view, not only you got this kind of neat pool, but you've also got the ocean right there below you, and you've got a killer sunset, right? And nothing beats
year-round sunsets.
Year-round
days a year, yeah.
All right, year-round sunsets, and the sunsets in Kona, because of the volcano and things like that, are absolutely stunning. Right, they're stunning, amazing, calm, gorgeous. Can't beat it days. All right, we got a couple of questions over here. Well, first of all, Heidi, Jim needs to be updated. What is the coffee of the day you're having for today? Jim is asking.
Oh, this is a Kona coffee. It's a dark roast, and it's from Badass, is where I got the coffee.
Badass Coffee Company. I remember that. The CEO of that coffee company a long time ago. They're looking to build a website. I was talking to them. Hey, Sherman came back to us and says, "Okay, I'm a welder, a machinist by trade, but we are wanting to move there in 4 years. I have time to go to school for a different career in that time frame. So what are the better careers?" Yeah, Sherman, I would say what you really want to do is, that's where we talk about jobs in Hawaii. It's all about the networking. It's all about the networking. It's about kind of finding out where your passion is as well. I think you put the intersection of networking and your passion, and I think that's the kind of the way to a job. Welders, I mean, there's welding being done here. I don't know.
There's plenty of work. I'd say stick to what you're doing. I mean, the construction industry is booming, and for skilled people that have the trades are definitely in high demand here. So I would say, you'd be fine just coming here with the skills that you have.
Yeah, and you get the background. Scott, go ahead.
Yeah, and I've had a couple of clients that are machinists that they work out Campbell Industrial Park side, and on the welder side, you're going to have plenty of options as well. So may not even need to change. Oahu is going to give you your biggest diversity, economic diversity, and plenty of options over here.
I think the thing is, skilled desirable trades or jobs, occupations are, typically will do well in Hawaii. Of course, assuming that it's needed. If you were a I don't know, if you were a heating specialist, it may not be so hot in Hawaii, but a cooling specialist would be. HVAC would be. Anyway, all right. Hey, let's see. We got it's about 5. We got 5 minutes to go. I think this is good. I think I kind of feel that we've done. If I think we go into another topic, it's going to take too long. So why don't we kind of start to close this up? Any final thoughts and final questions? Anybody? Make sure you kind of pop your question now, because we're going to bring this to a close. Christian says, "Congratulations, Jan Punk, on your townhome." Yeah, absolutely. That's what I say. Well done, everyone. And thank you, Asthmatic Ray. Congratulations on your 1-year anniversary. It's an awesome show you've created. Thank you, Ray. We really, really, really appreciate that. So much so. And then, Auntie Joyce popped in a comment here. To save me buying a gift for my husband's 70th birthday on Memorial Day, I'm using this program to wish him a memorial happy birthday. All together now. Happy birthday, Chris. All right. Happy birthday, Chris. Hope Chris is watching. Chris, I hope you're watching. So Joyce, can you let Chris off of doing some yard work? I mean, let the guy have a Memorial Day break. And speaking of Memorial Day, now, Dylan, you are still in the armed forces, serving our country. Memorial Day is a special day, of course. Is there anything you want to share specifically for Memorial Day for our brethren who have been with us?
I always like to clarify, right? Memorial Day, people always wish me a happy Memorial Day, but Memorial Day is for the folks that lost their lives, gave the ultimate sacrifice. That's what Memorial Day honors. So I just like to always remember that. I have some brothers in arms that did give the ultimate sacrifice, and so I always remember them on this weekend. But Veterans Day are for those of us that are currently serving. So definitely let's focus on the folks that are no longer with us. But just a good weekend to reflect on the freedoms and the beautiful life that we live, because so many people have given so much for us to have it. So always do that.
Well said. Well said. I mean, we think of too often. We think of these holiday weekends as a great time to kind of relax and take it easy and kind of have a barbecue or go to the beach or whatever. But really, they're there to give us a time to memorialize, and in Memorial Day, those who have given the ultimate sacrifice. And so, well said. So many have given so much. I don't know if anyone else wants to throw some comments in for Memorial Day, but Dylan, we really appreciate that. Yeah, excellent. So with that, maybe that might be our closing thought. Let's kind of move on to our closing. Let's wrap this up. And Auntie Joyce, God bless all our servicemen, those who are with us and those who are not. Yeah, indeed, absolutely. Let's kind of move on to a closing thought, and maybe we've already given the closing thought, but let's kind of go down the line. We'll go Heidi, Dylan, and Scott. Heidi, you want to give us your closing thought for today?
Sure. So this is kind of based on the idea of just making small incremental improvements at whatever you're trying to do or working towards your goal. And it's really just to take one small step every day to go in the direction that you want to go, even if it's just one small thing. So whatever that goal is, whether it's moving to Hawaii or, anything else in your life. And I try to judge whether or not I've had a good day based on that. And sometimes it's just a small thing, but you keep moving forward.
That's it. Well said. Keep moving forward. I'll have a comment. I'm going to try to remember. I've got a comment about that, and that I will add to that. Dylan, what's your closing thought for today?
Yeah, I just finished a great book called "Take the Stairs" by Rory Vaden, and it's about self-discipline being the origin of most of our personal success. Whatever it is you're trying to do in life, and one of the great quotes I took away from that book is that success is never owned, it's always rented, and rent is due every single day, right? So you can never kind of rest on your laurels. And if you got goals and things that you want to achieve in life, you just got to remember that rent is due every single day if you're gonna own it.
Love it. Love that. Love that. You know, Scott, before we go on, I want to kind of do some shout outs. We got some Melinda honoring those who gave everything to ensure our freedom. Thank you, Melinda, for mentioning that. Really appreciate that. And Amancio, aloha, God bless those we've lost for our freedom. And to those who are still in the fight, I salute you, brothers and sisters in arms. Man, this is great. Love you guys. This is terrific. And Sherman, yeah, we'll see you next time around. Excellent. Thank you all for being a part of this. Scott, what's your closing thought for today?
Yeah, I mean, to add on to Dylan's, I love rolling up my sleeves and grinding it out every day. You know, it makes life a little fuller. So for me, my quote, especially, and it goes with these times, I don't suffer from insanity. I enjoy every minute of it. So, you know, embrace the madness that's going on now, and, you know, get it done.
Get her done. You know, I'll throw my reflection into what you all have said is like one of the best things I've heard. You know, as an entrepreneur, and maybe the testosterone part of it, I'm highly competitive, and I for many years I always found myself comparing myself to others, which is it's got its plus and minuses. Well, the best thing I've heard was from Jordan Peterson, and he mentioned something where he said, "Don't compare yourself to others. Compare yourself to where you were last year or last month." Like Dylan, you know, the rent's paid every month, or last week or yesterday. Compare yourself to you, because that's the only genuine standard. It doesn't help it's actually not helpful to compare yourself to others, because you don't know what everyone else's life is like. You really don't. You know, we see the surface, you know, we see the Instagram posts, we see the, you know, we see the beautiful faces on Facebook, but that's not the true life. You really don't know what anyone else's life really is. All you really know is your life. And so compare yourself. The only one to compare yourself to is yourself, as of last year, last week, last month. Keep that in mind. And want to say, okay, we're going to go around and say our aloha. So thank you all for being a part of this. This was a great 1-year anniversary. It was perfect. It was Memorial Day. You all had great things to say, good feelings, lots of great comments. This was definitely a great feel-good show. Let's go around the I'll start. Aloha, everyone. I'll see you all in a couple of weeks. Heidi, Dylan, and then Scott. Go.
Aloha.
Have a good weekend, everybody. Aloha.
Thanks for joining in. Aloha.
All right, folks. Have a great one. See you all in a couple of weeks. Aloha.